Hi.
Happy Monday. How's it going?
Good morning, sir. Happy Monday. We're back.
What
Actually,
is
we
up?
really didn't go. We only missed yesterday. I
Dominic
was,
slept in.
well, as you should. I spent the day. I was almost like, man, we really we had some long episodes last week, uh,
We did.
which was really good. I enjoy those for sure. And I was listening back on a few of them. We
Look at this guy.
definitely did. We got a lot of top. Well, no, we didn't really talk a whole lot about the topics, but we had some pretty good conversations. We
Look,
talked
in a
about,
way, we did.
in a way, we talked about how to destroy Thanksgiving with
Yes.
conversations.
It's Brian's
Um,
favorite.
which seemed I was reading some of the comments that were given on that, and it, I mean, I think everybody kind of thought we were kind of knew that we were kidding, but the amount of replies that were more like, "Yeah, Thanksgiving should be fun and rewarding. Let's not do this." I think maybe he was stressing some people out um, about bringing up scratchy topics and dropping
Ornery.
political anti-vibey conversations. Good morning, Dan. Good morning, Brian. Good morning, Dylan. Thank you for joining us. But yeah, it was a good week. A good week off, and yeah, we maintained our early morning habit.
Yeah. Yeah. I slept in yesterday all the way until 7 o'clock. So that was an extra, 3 hours or so for me. It was nice. Got everything done, but got it done late. Yeah. Garbage time this weekend, garbage time last week. I mean, we want to jump right into the topic and just talk all about it. I mean, we've known for a while because we've all read this, minus Dylan, because he just got the book like last month. Um, but we all read this last year. So we've all kind of known that, garbage time is something to think to just reframe your mind about like what is actually happening day in and day out with your kids, that it doesn't have to be a trip or a celebration or Instagram worthy. It can literally just be sitting on the couch and, like the book reference, like watching them enjoy a comic book. I all weekend long. So it was Brooklyn's birthday. On Saturday, she got a guitar. She's been wanting a guitar for a while, and so she used a gift card she got the day before from her aunt and uncle, and then a little bit of our money, and we got her just a little beginner kit from Amazon. I think it was like 60 or 70 bucks. Nothing special. Definitely isn't good. Like the strings are very loose and it needs to be tuned like all the time. But she wailed on that thing all day yesterday, and I just sat there, just like getting to enjoy that. Um, and then even when I was going to bed last night, I went and hugged each one of the kids and said goodbye and let them know that I was going to be at work tomorrow because I'd been home since last Tuesday. Um, she's in her room just playing it and singing, and I just sat there outside the door, like honestly, for like a couple minutes just listening to her, and that's perfect example of like she wasn't doing anything crazy. It's just garbage. It's beautiful. It's beautiful
Yeah,
garbage.
yeah. I might have to jump off a little bit early, so I'm glad you jumped into the topic today. We've talked about garbage time before. I can't remember if this is the only time the garbage time is brought up in the
I
book
don't think
or
so.
reading.
I don't think so. I think it's multiple times.
Yeah. Also, I enjoy that Jerry Seinfeld is referenced here. One of my most favorite podcasts. If you have any creative inclinations whatsoever that involves some kind of process or planning or whatever, and you're interested in like the workflow that goes into creative work. I don't know what episode it is. It's from a few years ago, but the Tim Ferriss interview of Jerry Seinfeld is
Mm.
my top favorite podcast. But anyway, yeah, talking about the garbage time, you just talked about how you just kind of stood outside. Sorry, Brooklyn or Bailey's door?
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn.
Yep.
Some of my memories, my most like easily accessible memories, are the ones where I've stood outside bedroom doors and just observed, and sometimes even filmed my kids just doing what they do.
Yeah.
With Junie, I think she was maybe 4 or 5, and she did not yet know how to read, but she was like looking at books and pretending to read. And then with Kira, one of my favorites, and I might even get choked up on this point, but I think it was last year. That last year about this time, she was 11, and she was very much starting her journey into teenagerhood, like teenage habits and teenage interests. And I remember looking into the playroom, and she was like, she kneeled down because we have like a Barbie house with like Barbies, and she just started playing with the Barbies, and I was like, oh. And I started tearing up a little bit because it was like, oh man, she's like tapping into her childhood. I'm getting choked about it right now, and it's way too early to do that on a Monday when I'm going back to school. But yeah, just those little in betweens are the best times.
Yeah. I mean, they don't. It's one of those things where you have to like. It's kind of like the saying, "Stop and smell the roses," right? Like roses, flowers, all that nature is all around us. We see it every day. We take it for granted or whatever. But like you just got to every now and then just stop and just smell the rose. Just enjoy what is out there, instead of thinking about creating that next big thing, that next big moment, that next big, art project, that next big house, whatever it is. You just sit there and stop for a moment and enjoy, you know, the kids around you, the people around you, the world that we live in, all that stuff.
Yeah. My breaks are full of garbage time. To the point where I definitely forget that those are like probably the most comforting times. Sorry about that noise. I am slightly distracted today. I have like a
He's taking
telehealth.
selfies.
I have a telehealth doctor's appointment at 7. I am like I'm listening intently, but I'm also like just kind of doing some prep for getting back to today in school. Which I'm sitting here, I have like, my slide decks for each one of my classes here. And like we just talked about before we got on, how it's like, the cold start on Monday after a break.
Yeah.
And I'm my initial reaction is like getting, all, we're just being anxious about restarting the class, after break. But I forget that like, we're like day number 1 after break. The kids are going, like teenagers are going to be not ready to start. Some will be. So I hope to reach to their level. But it's like they don't need a full slideshow and a whole big assignment right off the bat first thing in the morning. They're still waking up, right? So I'm just going to do what I always do. I'm going to wait at the door. I'm going to give them a handshake, and we might just take some photos today.
Yes.
Like one
Talk
thing
about their break.
Yeah.
Ask them their thoughts on garbage time.
Yeah. I think I'm going to do that today. Absolutely. I had a real conversation with my buddy, Zach, about, he's also an art teacher. He's a teacher down in Florida. And we were talking about like just how we do assignments in class. And, part of being an art teacher sometimes is also being an artist. And one of the things that I knew, but like didn't really ever, I haven't acknowledged in a long time is like, it's like I'm teaching art. If art isn't fun, I'm not going to do it. So if I'm making this big assignment for the first day and it's not fun for me, there's no way that the kids are going to enjoy it anyway. So like today, thanks to this reading, I'm going to lean into the garbage time, and it's going to be just a little bit of a warm up to get back into the routine. And there's no rush to do that. You know, we don't have to jump right into content right away. So
Yeah, like MP saying here, it's really funny that this, this comes up at a time when, like MP and a lot of us, I know me too, but like this is a very scheduled month. The between Christmas parties, going to see tree lighting ceremonies, like neighborhood walkthroughs of Christmas lights, Christmas dinners, events, different holidays, like all that other stuff. Like it's very hard to actually slow your mind down in this month, any months too, but this month in particular, when there's just got you got so much going on in during the holidays.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
dry in Arizona, so I soak the Christmas tree in the pool for 24 hours, takes bugs and sap off the tree. And wow, wow. Did you? I would honestly, the first thing I thought was for some reason, Brofit has a fake Christmas tree, and he just instead of like putting it in his garage, he just sets it up in his backyard year round. And he had some high winds and it blew into the pool last night. That's where my mind was going. But that's incredibly smart. Because yeah, Arizona sucks. It's dry and hot there. But damn, that's crazy, dude.
So here's the thing. I've been to Brofit's pool, and it's a really cool pool. It's like he's got his gym
Did it
shed
have a tree in it?
and his gym pool, and I'm like, how the hell did how is that tree in the pool right now? Like, does he just come home, just toss the tree into the pool? Is that what you do, Brian?
Yeah, like, apparently it's a thing. I'm sure he has some sort of crazy cool way that he does it. I imagine he built an apparatus and he just lowered it in there
Well,
and then
if he
raised it
has an
back up.
apparatus, it has to be like it's not a small pool. I need to see a picture of this. Please post a picture, Brian.
He's just like, nah, just throw it in and I pull it out. Wait, are we still talking about the tree in the pool or are we talking about your anniversary this weekend?
Yo.
Go on.
Um, we had we did a tree lighting today. Well, we did a tree lighting thing. And I had a pretty good little parenting moment here. Who's here? Ryan's here. I just missed something.
I was just trying not to interrupt, and I was feeling successful by at least being here, ready for Jason to have to leave early. That was all.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, we'll see what happens here.
I felt bad with him back there this whole time, so I just did a little peekaboo to wake him up.
I feel like there's that moment where you're like, I don't know if I want to come in a little bit late.
It's like
and then
double dutch.
Like, don't keep going. And I didn't want that, but now we have it, so it's okay.
Combo breaker. So we had our Longmont tree lighting ceremony here, and we've done it most years. And like the most magical memory for me, it was probably when like Kira and Junior were still young, like 6 and below. And that was we had a really good friends, Jess and Aaron, who are now in Florida, and that's a thing that we used to do. It was like I think, and we were only here. We were only friends for 2 years before they moved away, and still really good friends. They've been away longer than not. And then this particular year, we're hanging out with some other friends, which is great. But the actual tree lighting part, it was like kind of lost a little bit of luster for me. But the whole time, I had my 6-year-old on my shoulders, and I kind of snapped out of it for a second because like, wait a minute, I can do this all again. Like I have a 6-year-old that like maybe she remembers last year, maybe, but it's like all this is new still. So I had to remind myself that like I still gotta be excited for this because it's like this is her first time and I gotta be here for it. So that just kind of came out of the blue there, and I'm really glad that it did. So it was almost, I had this realization of like, if you have multiple kids, it's a lot of work, but you get to do all those things over again, which is, I'm happy about that. So
Kids, the great do-over of life.
yeah. So yeah, it was good. Some good. We had some good garbage times this break.
How was your garbage time, Ryan? How do you feel about it?
This is the garbage time conversation. Garbage time page.
Yeah, garbage time. Jason, I like those little life reminders. I'm not good with garbage time because I just have to be moving. Which isn't right. It's just something where I'm like, okay, I would love to have more garbage time or be able to accept garbage time better. I can sit in silence with myself, but sitting in silence with anyone makes me wildly not uncomfortable, but I'm like, is this a waste of time? Like, that's my first thought. Like we should be talking, we should be coming to a conclusion. We should be fixing something. Right. And I think when it comes to the kids, especially this time of year, like you were saying, Jason, it's like a good reminder just to like accept exactly like where we're at, like what's going on. And that's really good. I do want to just say one thing. We had a sleepover. What's today? A sleepover on Saturday. Also, I'm going to say this carefully. Someone had brought over their Elf on a Shelf. My thought is this. We also have an elf on the shelf, but to send an elf on the shelf to someone else's home and need to now absorb how they live their life with their elf on the shelf and with all these other like thoughts. I mean, I was like, wait a second, what's going on? What are your rules? What are our rules? What do we have to do here? It was like, wait, hold on. Okay. I'm never going to do this. There was like gloves and there was like containers and there were like promises that were being given. I was like, I don't know if we can do that. So it's like, you're really giving us a big task here. But it's a good reminder of like the how special kids are looking at this time of year, which is nice.
Yeah, there is a little bit of anxiety that comes along with that, like the elf on the shelf stuff. And I'm hoping my 6-year-old doesn't walk in behind me like she always does here.
I think we can navigate this without doing anything.
Can you guys let me know? Can you guys let me know if a kid walks behind me? So the whole thing with the elf on the shelf thing is like my 12-year-old is keen to the plan.
Wait, hold on. Give like 30. Just give 30 seconds. Just make sure if anyone's kids are around.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not gonna. This isn't a spoiler alert.
Okay, I'm just nervous. I get so nervous to ruin.
I'm nervous too. So my 12-year-old keen to the plan, the Christmas plan. If you catch my drift.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'll say.
You talked about it.
So last year, that realization came to her. Was it 2 years ago? No, it was last year. I think 2 years ago. That realization came to her Christmas Eve after we tucked in the kids and me and Kristen started prep work. We opened Christmas with that conversation. Where it's like you question your entire parenting experience with like the biggest potential controversy around holidays. I'm still trying to choose my words very carefully here.
Doing great.
Do anything, but like that was the worst, and maybe that was like pulling the curtain away from The Wizard of Oz. That was our first moment, and it was very it was very sobering seeing like something that you've been telling your kids for 11 years and then all of a sudden the story is completely different. that was weird.
Yeah.
And we will probably have to do it again this year or next year with my middle kid.
But now she has a buddy to go through it with.
Yeah. And
Her
also
older
it's
sister.
like I was just saying how it's like each kid, you get to experience things multiple times. This is not something that I want to experience a second or a third time. So it's like it's going to be a different conversation. The reaction is going to be different. And I'm not looking forward to whenever that might happen.
You know what's easier is have her make the realization with a different time of year.
Well, she did ask over the summer, and I think Kristen.
Like start with a different figure.
Oh, can we chop out the tooth fairy, please?
So we can start with that one. That one's easier. And then once you get them through that talk, just be like, oh, and by the way, there's these other ones. Don't freak out.
This whole Avengers team of characters.
It's this guy. It's
It's
that
just
woman.
It's just a movie.
I had a funny moment last night because so I go to bed very early and my wife does not. And I wake up this morning. Actually, I was woken up last night around 11:30, and she just said something like, where's so and so and so and so? And I'm like, in like half asleep, I get woken up and I'm just like, I knew exactly where they were. So it was like top of fridge, backpack. And so she storms downstairs. Now I know why she stormed downstairs. And then she did what she needed to do. And then I wake up this morning, I look at my texts. I got 2 texts from her, like, where, if you wake up in the morning, please put these out. And then I look in the garage and she fucking terrorized the garage. Just opened up like all these bins. I should have taken a picture of it. My nice clean home gym does not look that way today. So I got some.
Are your comics okay?
Get some apologizing to do this morning when she wakes up, because I forgot to mention where I put those little homies. Yeah, my comics are in my closet. They're not in my garage.
Dom, I love what you said about starting the conversation at a different time of year. Have you guys ever watched the movie Rise of the Guardians?
Yep. That was the Christmas movie I was thinking about telling you the other day, but I couldn't remember the name. I never remember the name.
I think it is.
But I love that movie.
Yeah, I do too. I think it is. I think it hits on the spirit. I just sometimes have a hard time with being like all of these like figures that come into our home. They're all good, and there's no bad figure that ever comes in. Like to me, sometimes I'm just like for a kid's mind to need to navigate that area of like, well, why are only good things able to come in? And like, you tell me not to worry about anything else. Like I always think about that. And it's kind of weird. It's like, well, if the good stuff couldn't the bad stuff?
That's like trying to make sense of why language was created and what words mean what things. That's just too much. That's just too much big brain stuff, Brian.
But yeah, the garbage time thing, we who's really good at it is just to put it back there is Lauren's family is really good with garbage time. They get together for almost holidays, even like small ones, big ones, all that kind of stuff too. And so sometimes I get frustrated because it's not like where my head goes, because I'm like, well, like I don't need to spend this downtime with all these people all the time. I think sometimes I kind of get forced into that reminder of like, just slow the hell down. And, I think I recently realized, and I had shared this too, is that I feel like this is like a big thought, and it feels very freeing to me about like my own practice and my business and my challenges with it and stuff like that. I've recently kind of given up. I don't even like those words. came to the realization or the understanding of kind of like where my strengths are like right now versus like 3 years ago. And it's like you just need to be able to accept things, and like, it's like this self-awareness. But why I'm saying this is because it came from my understanding of like, I'm not showing up as strong as I can in my marriage, with my kids, like with family. And I was like, it is because of this. And I feel like I'm pushing so hard to like grow this and do more and always be successful. And I recently had just kind of like really sat back and was like, I just need to let go. And the scariest thing was like letting go at a time where you don't really have a next step, but you just know something was wrong and there just needs to be something different. It was kind of like jumping before you really, you knew you even had a parachute.
All right, boys, I gotta jump off. Happy Monday. Enjoy the day.
Tell your doctor I said, hey.
I will. Bye-bye.
But yeah, anyway, so like that, I think realization has helped me reestablish and take back some of that garbage time. So
Good stuff.
it's been good. Hence me being able to, wanting to be able to kind of come back here on Mondays and reestablish garbage time with you boys.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed you coming back, bud. Yeah, garbage time. That's what we're talking about. So, Mama Bear, the book. I don't know if Mama Bear has the book or not, but the Daily Dad book, today's reading was about garbage time. Basically, the time in between all the fun, elaborate stuff, the sitting on the couch with your children while they're doing something and you're just hanging out, the cooking and them asking you questions about, what are you putting in there? Why are you doing it like that? Folding the laundry, chores, whatever it is. Those little moments. My wife and son were out in the garden yesterday, trimming back some of the neighbors' vines because the neighbors' vines are growing over our side and they're kind of putting a little too much shade on our roses. So she was out there trimming with Bentley, and he was having a good time. Yeah, just that kind of moment.
That sounded like the most beautiful suburban situation ever.
That's my life right now. It's funny. It is. I would
Yeah.
describe it exactly that way. A beautiful suburban, like where we moved, is very suburbs. It's very much like, those movies where you see like all the houses look the same. It's there's like three different floor plans in our neighborhood, and they just like change them, every other house or whatever.
Yeah.
It's very much like that. Yep.
Yeah. I definitely grew up in that, in like the homes that were built in the 70s, maybe 80s, maybe. Yeah, I mean, it's like, it's where a lot of people find success. That's where they want to be. That's awesome.
Yeah. It's
So
nice.
it's awesome. Cool. All right.
You ready? Your kids back to school? Your kids didn't get as long of a break. Are they back, or do they have more days?
They're back. They had half day on, they didn't have like after school, I guess, on Wednesday, Thursday
Mhm.
off, Friday off. Yeah, well, I wonder what that is. I'm not really sure.
Well, that's how my school was when I was going through school. Like we only
Your
got
school's
Wednesday
different.
half day.
Yeah. Okay.
Nowadays they get the whole week off. So that was a new thing that got changed in our area, early 2000s, I would guess. But yeah.
Okay.
So it just makes it harder for them to go back. Like each one of them was like, "Oh, school tomorrow. Oh, Dad, no, please." Like I warned them a couple times last night. I was like, "Hey, just remember, you got school tomorrow."
Yeah. Yeah.
You actually got to change out of those sweatpants you've been wearing all week.
It is quite the shake back to reality for those.
Maybe shower.
Oh my goodness. I feel like we're not having an issue with hygiene at all, but it's just like not top of mind for the kids.
Yeah.
And so we are it's like a constant reminder, like, oh wow, this is like something we really have to kind of focus on with them.
It always trips me out because when I was a kid, it was every day. I just had to do it every day, and it just bees. What's up, buddy? How you doing? Good morning. Happy Monday. Um, but with my kids, it's not, and I know it's different with girls. Like girls, like aren't supposed to or don't think they're supposed to shower every day, which is totally fine. I know the hair is a lot of work, um,
Mm.
so it makes sense. But yeah, my son, I don't even know if he takes a bath every week. I'm sure he does, but
There's only so much you can force your kids to do before like they have to come to the realization themselves. Um, uh, oh, Savvy's in Arizona now.
so, you
Um,
know, a whole extra hour
yeah.
for now.
There's like I'm only going to push so hard. It's kind of like, like I am the parent at like the playground. If my kid takes off their shoes and socks and they want to run around where someone's nervous that there were like rats or something around or garbage or whatever,
Yeah,
I'm like, I don't really care, because the alternative is me forcing my kid to put their shoes on, them not having a good time, screaming, then I'm going to be really
yeah,
worked up, and I don't need that.
escalating
It's
the
just like,
situation. Yeah.
it's just not necessary. And then it's a little bit right now with my 9-year-old who's gonna, or my, yeah, 9-year-old in 4 days, 8 now,
Mm,
9 really soon. Uh,
9
with
going on 16.
Yeah, right. Well, you know, my 4-year-old is, I swear to God, like her mannerisms, how she reacts to things, she is going on 16. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So,
You're like, how did a 4-year-old get her period? This is weird.
well, hold on.
Not literally. You're like, there's a lot going on in your brain right now, young lady.
Uh, I was listening to, who's I listening to? You know who Chris
Yes, Coach
Williamson is?
Battles. Yeah.
Chris Williamson, he's a podcaster, and he had on, what's her name? Everyone's gonna know her. Darn it! They were talking about, is a whole different topic. I don't want to go too deep into this, but it was the idea of like how like kids' brains are working, but brains in general. I think with just the ADHD kind of like world and the mind, and like how women or girls were not understood, and most studies were for like boys, and how
Yeah.
ADHD is presenting in a girl's brain versus a boy's brain. And as she's talking on this podcast about it, I'm like, I think that my ADHD brain was thinking like a girl as I was like listening to it. And and so my thought is like, well, I think we can't just bias like between both of those. Where I'm going with this is that it was reminding me how my 9-year-old's brain kind of works with these things. And as I learn about that kind of like diagnosis for myself and where it presented for me as a kid, I'm like trying to teach myself as trying to teach her, while trying not to like be overbearing with it. So when it
Mhm.
comes to something like like hygiene, I know why it's not the first thing on her mind. And so it's where I'm trying to kind of like navigate that world. It's interesting. It's like a puzzle. It's like a challenge, and I kind of enjoy it, but it's definitely tough. It's definitely tough. So
Was it Mel Robbins?
Mel Robbins, yeah, that was the most recent one.
Yeah.
So that's good. All right. I am wildly unprepared for 3 things that I have to do today. And one of them is pretty substantial. And I know that I can bullshit my way through most things, and I will. Do you ever have to like plan your bullshit? Like you have to, like, okay, I can either get like really prepared, or I can like plan my bullshit so that I can just make sure that I can get through it. It's like the moment that I'm in right now.
Every time. So here's the thing. Like I feel like I've been planning, and I think in my planning, I prepare myself. But then when I get to the actual meeting or the job site, like I just it just flows out of me. And I think that's probably has to do with the fact that I did plan it. Um, but yeah, I don't. it's a lot of it is it feels like it's 90% bullshit, like making up on the fly. But again, that's just because I'm dealing with other humans. So like it's not going to go according to plan. Like every time I've ever sent someone an agenda and I'm like, here's the agenda. I want to talk about these 5 things. We get to number 1 and then all of a sudden we go in 18 different directions and it's 30 minutes later and they're like, "Oh, what were the other things you wanted to talk about?" I'm like, "Oh, in this clipboard that I've been holding the entire time that I wanted to talk about these 5 things, but you went and talked about these 18 other things? Yeah, yeah. Let's get back to that."
Mhm. Yeah. There
It's
is
just
like
life.
over planning 100%. I know that I can get into, and I'm like, this was silly. All I had to show up was like be a good person and listen, like and like trust like the knowledge you have. Um and I think that's just a life lesson. One
I
thing
know.
I am gonna have to go in a second. I was walking out, so for the V Friends world, I was walking out of my daughter's school after dropping them off, and there were these boxes sitting by the door, and it said free comics. Now, give me like 6 months ago, I would have not even noticed.
Yep.
But there's these boxes that are sitting there. And so for the New York City public school system, there's these comics that are being written for kids to learn.
Uh-huh.
And there's this like, I think in other conversations I've mentioned my appreciation for like this form of communication, this form of writing, all this kind of stuff. And then I saw this. So it mainly is focused on like civics and just kind of like teaching kids all about this. I mean, I saw Jack Kirby's name and I was like, oh my gosh, did Jack Kirby do this? I think this comic is about Jack Kirby. And so I thought that was really interesting. So that was really cool. And then like it keeps going. So I was like grabbing them, but like sketches on the sidewalk. I don't even know what
Nice.
these are. So like, but it's like this is spring. I was curious when they were written. It says summer 2025. This says spring 2025. So I guess it was this year where they put them out. But anyway, it was a reminder for me to like icons. I don't even know what this is, but there were a bunch of. There were like maybe 10 more of these. So I grabbed a couple just to look at them. They look pretty legit in terms of like from what I know in my world, like
Yeah.
dialogue, all that kind of stuff. But it was a
Yep.
really good reminder for like what like how kids learn, and kids are going to learn different ways. But if anything, from an interest standpoint, I mean, don't sleep on comics right now.
Mhm. Mhm.
Looks like
Mhm. Mhm.
it is everywhere. So
All right, man. Well, have a good day. Everybody else, have a good day. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for chatting with us. We will be
oh nice.
we'll be back. We'll be back tomorrow. 100%. Tuesdays. Tuesdays we go hard. I don't know. I don't know what that means, but um definitely be there. And yeah,
I'm gonna show up
come join
shirtless,
us.
snorting Celsius. All right, see ya.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Ryan, for that last image. Appreciate y'all. Have a good day. Peace.